Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable podcast. We're your hosts, Susan Robbins, certified epigenetic human performance coach,
and Kate King, licensed psychotherapist, board-certified art therapist, and award-winning author. Together, we bring two perspectives, two styles, and one shared passion for epigenetics.
On this podcast, we delve into topics such as environment, nutrition, fitness, mindset, social dynamics, and trauma as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone.
We recognize that everyone's needs are unique. There are no one-size-fits-all solutions for your mind, body, and heart. The true magic lies within you.
So if you're ready to create a radiant life through epigenetics and reclaim your authentic self, then buckle up. Here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable podcast. This is one of our minis, and we are your co-hosts. I'm Susan Robbins, and I'm here with
Kate King, and I am excited to talk to you guys about something very, very close to my heart and my clinical practice.
Yeah, we did. If you go back and listen to episode 72 that just recently came out, it's with Dr. Arielle Schwartz on polyvagal theory and trauma. And Kate's going to delve a little more into the nitty gritty today, into the polyvagal theory components.
Yes.
Did I get that? Did I get that right?
You got it, sister.
All right. I'm going to let you run.
Yeah, thank you. So Dr. Schwartz did an incredible job of talking about how kind of polyvagal theory of the nervous system helps us to relate to each other and feel more soothed in life. And I just wanted to come into a little bit more depth of what are some of the aspects of polyvagal theory, the language around it, because I think in that podcast, we alluded to sympathetic, we alluded to dorsal vagal, and we didn't tell people what that meant. So I want to identify some of those, define them for you today, and just give just a little mini into what this really powerful perspective on the nervous system can teach us. So this is a perspective that it wasn't even necessarily meant to be for nervous system regulation. A medical doctor was looking for other things and then stumbled across polyvagal theory. His name is Stephen Porges. He is a doctor who has just come out with a ton of research around this. So look up Dr. Stephen Porges if you're interested in a real deep dive in this. I also like the work of Deb Dana. She has adapted polyvagal theory into a psychotherapeutic practice. And so she has an incredible book called Anchoring or Anchored. I think it's called Anchored. And it's really all about how we work with polyvagal theory to regulate our nervous system and ultimately have that ripple out into our psycho-emotional aspects so that our mind and our body are jiving in harmony together. So as you can see just from listening this much, polyvagal theory has aspects that are physical, aspects that are mental and emotional. It's really a holistic practice of soothing and regulating the nervous system. So the vagus nerve is a huge nerve. It's from the Latin root meaning like vague, vagabond, wanderer. It wanders through the whole body and it plugs into a lot of our organs, and it has a huge impact in the parasympathetic component of our nervous system, which is essentially where we tap the brakes to slow things down. So there's other aspects of the nervous system that I won't talk about today, but yes.
And I think let people know this with our Dr. Schwartz, it was part 2 of a vagus nerve series we did. So if you actually go also to episode 71 with Dr. Navaz Habib, he goes into more of the sympathetic v parasympathetic. So we've only got 10 minutes here to talk about this. If you want to do that deeper dive, watch that first one and you'll see how the two really fit well together. And then this third one with you going into these details, I think it'll make a lot of sense to people to piggyback on.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So essentially in the parasympathetic nervous system, we It's the rest and digest nervous system, which helps us unplug. It helps us recuperate. It helps our digestion, absorption, because when you're in a survival state, your body doesn't care about absorbing nutrients. Your body's trying to survive. So having a parasympathetic balance really helps with so many of our daily functions that I don't think we really give enough credence to, like our sleep rhythms, our digestion, things like that. It
Breath.
helps breath. It helps us with our relationships and our connection to other people because we're connecting from a really grounded, authentic place. So essentially, there are three levels, three places you can go within polyvagal theory. There's the sympathetic activation, which in general is like anxiety. It's when you feel buzzing, when you're activated, when you're at a really high state. And then lower down is ventral vagal activation, when you're grounded and centered and present and you feel both calm but also alert. And then the lowest activation is called dorsal vagal activation. And that is like depression, when people feel very lethargic, very heavy. There's a sense of apathy that comes there. So each of these aspects have both physical symptoms and emotional symptoms. So the physical symptoms are the things that you feel in your body, like sludgy and lethargic down in dorsal vagal, but also depressed and apathetic, not caring,
Toxic.
isolating, toxic, just really icky, low place. And for those of you listeners, if you've ever just been in that like dragging place where you can't get out of bed, that's dorsal vagal activation. And your system is in a fight or flight perspective where it has basically determined that you're under threat, something in your life doesn't feel safe. There's really no chance for you to outrun it. You really can't fight it. So you might as well just play dead. So that's basically what dorsal vagal.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's like reverting to we are going to play dead because nothing else will work. So, whereas sympathetic activation, which is the opposite, that really high anxious state, the physical aspects there could be a racing heart rate, could be clammy hands and sweaty, out of
Sweat.
breath, like just feeling like you can't calm down, like you've had 6 cappuccinos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the physical. The emotional is the anxiety, the hypervigilance, this feeling of dread or anticipatory dread for something that maybe you don't even know what it is. Maybe this is something that you're like, why? And what's happening right now in your nervous system is you feel in some state of survival and you think that there's something that you can do about it. So you're not playing dead. In fact, you're running really fast to get stuff done, or you're fighting and being really aggressive and really intense. And that's your nervous system trying to save your life, even if it's only about like turning in your midterm or showing up to work on time.
And even the words we use in that, when we're in that state, I have to fight this. I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. Right. And when you say these, look at your body language. Like, I'm
Mhm.
buried. I don't have time. Like, I've got to fight this and fight this. And you're like, but when you say I'm able to relax, like I'm flowing. Look at how your body reacts. I didn't like even just saying these things. Pay attention to the stress words.
The words.
Yeah,
The
the
words are important.
words we're using when we're in these states too, because that is also can be affecting us just
Yeah.
with how we work. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, what you were just referring to in flow, that is ventral vagal activation. When we're not in a state of fight or flight or freeze or fawn. Fawning isn't often talked about as much as fight, flight, and freeze. Fawning is people pleasing for survival reasons, where you make yourself small and compliant and you give people what they want you to give them so that you can keep the peace and stay out of trouble. That is a survival response, and often it is used by people who have experienced trauma and oftentimes relational trauma in childhood. So I just want to throw out there. But back to ventral vagal activation. That is that balanced, grounded, centered state. I like to call it true self from a parts perspective. We talked about IFS and parts work in a recent episode as well. So that is when you're both calm and alert. So you're paying attention. Your brain waves are in alpha or beta. You're not feeling dragged down and sleepy. You're not feeling amped up and anxious. You're here, but you're present and you're calm. And I think we all know what that feels like, but not a lot of us live there, especially in today's crazy world. We're either high or low. And I think it's really important to know that your nervous system was built flexibly. You are not supposed to live forever in that ventral vagal state. You're actually built to vacillate and fluctuate between these highs and lows, but you don't want to live in the upper or the lower regions of these polyvagal states. You'd like to return to this ventral vagal activation as like your baseline. That's your home. So
Mhm.
it's really important to get clued into what your symptoms are, where you default. I know that I default to a sympathetic place. I'm like a little too comfortable with anxiety. It's been with me a long time and it's something I constantly work on. I've dipped down into dorsal vagal couple of times. I don't like it. It's unfamiliar. I'm much more comfortable with anxiety. So now my work is identifying when I start to elevate into that sympathetic anxious place and doing intentional breath work, creativity, going for a walk, cutting the caffeine, cutting some of the sugary foods that I eat, and really honing in to try to get myself back to that calm, alert state of ventral vagal. So I know this is like a quick download of all of this. I want to keep this our mini today, and we're getting close to our end of our time. But Susan, are there just any last reflections you want to make about this?
No, I just think again of how it was reiterated so much with when we talked to Dr. Habib and also with Dr. Schwartz on the importance of the breath work. She was more around a yoga state. He was more where we talk about the actual breath work. And I know it that made a major difference for me and for several of my clients that I really bring that breath work in because it's such a key. And we breathe every day,
Mm-hmm.
every second, and we don't realize that how we're breathing plays a big part in how this expresses too.
Yeah. Yes. Incredible. Yeah. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Let us know, comment. And if you want more on the vagus nerve, polyvagal theory, or the nervous system in general, just let us know. It's a rabbit hole, and we are happy to dive down it with you.
Keep
So
going. This
thank
is what we
you.
do. We go down the rabbit holes.
Yes. Yes. Thanks for being with us today. Join us on our Facebook page, Everyday Epigenetics, Raw, Real, Relatable Chat. Comment, participate. We love to hear from you. And otherwise, get out there and make it a great day. Be your most authentic self.
Let it shine. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast.
If you enjoyed this week's episode, we'd love for you to share it, leave a review or comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Help us get this information out to everyone who could benefit, and we'll keep bringing you the content you crave.
You can also check out our podcast site at everydayepigenetics.co and sign up for our newsletter to stay updated on upcoming episodes. The link is in the show notes.
If you're interested in DNA or epigenetic coaching with Susan, or Radiant Life Coaching for deep inner work with Kate, our contact info is in the show notes below.
Now go and make it a great day and let your most authentic self shine.